Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Live with Brinkofspeed and Octane Hour. Tonight, we are missing neighbor Mark. He was a little bit under the weather, so he won't be with us tonight.
He almost toughed it out. He was feeling pretty, sounding pretty rough, though.
Yeah, he's got a local cold, so kind of sucks.
It's going around.
Yep. So tonight, we're going to talk about the latest Corvette news and if GM is kind of keeping a new 6.6-liter LT engine as a secret for Corvettes. So before we get to that, let's say hello to everybody that's in here. Doug Hooks, Everjeff, Shiny Fenders. We got Track Speed, Bruno, Clay Ernest.
Mark T's on there.
Mark T, welcome.
John Somerville. Did they work out your convertible mods for cars?
He actually sent me an email on that, and I forgot to get back with him.
Supercar Ranch.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting to hear, John, if they figured out your hardtop convertible with that module, if it's working or not.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit of information here. Yeah, just let us know about that. Sorry, guys, it's been a busy week. Last week, my health is still not back to normal. I'm actually dealing with some stuff tonight, but I'm gonna try and make it through the hour. So, but yeah, we've got a great crowd on here. Lance Smith.
We never heard much from Lance. He got back from Ron Fellows.
Oh yeah.
What do you think, Lance? Was it worth it? Because we know that answer.
I think him and Caleb.
I think we should ask Caleb. Caleb, what
Caleb
he thought.
texted me.
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah.
While he was there?
Yeah, he loved it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he absolutely loved it. So they definitely had a blast.
What's up, Keith? Keith is in here.
Yep.
Doug Hooks, we were just talking about you.
Yep. Kerry Glock. So the whole crowd, the normal crowd is on. Welcome, everybody. Tonight, I'm going to talk about something that's actually near and dear to my heart because I just had a friend that I have not seen in a really long time. He was in his 70s. He had MS, and I knew him when I was very young until I was about 13. But he just passed away this today's Wednesday. He passed away on Monday. So I wanted to bring up the MS Solution Z06 because he was the first person in my life that I ever knew with MS. I think he died at 77. So this is a beautiful Z06. It's, like I said, it's for an amazing cause. It's white. It's got the red calipers. It's got the red interior. It's not a Z07 package, but they are giving you $20,000 plus the Z06.
Go buy the Z07 Aero if you want a Z07. Looks just like John's, pretty much.
Yeah.
Although John's is a convertible.
John's is a convertible. Yep.
That's right.
John's is a convertible. But yeah, black wheels. I mean, it's a beautiful car. And if you're new to these type of giveaways, the easy way to get entered is to click on the link there or any of the ones that you want to click on. And then the code is already in there. So you get 25% more for your money because you're a Brinkofspeed watcher. Fill out all of this information, click continue, and then it'll ask you for credit card information. And the link is in the description. And I'll go ahead and pin a link in the first comment once this video is over with. So yeah, his name was Cliff Williams. He was an amazing, amazing person in my life for quite a while. But again, it's been a long time since I've seen him. So, all right. Did that pull up on your phone?
Actually, I don't know.
You know
I wasn't
what?
paying attention.
I might have. Guys, I'm sorry. I think I might have forgot to hit desktop on that. What are people saying?
Oh, it's up now. No, I don't think you showed it.
I don't think I showed it. So let me redo that real quick. This is the MS Solutions 2024 Z06 plus $20,000. If you want to get entered, click one of these buttons here. The code is already in there, so all you got to do is fill out this information, click continue. It'll ask you for credit card information, And the way you find that link with my code on it is in the description. So just make sure you go in there. And like I said, I'll pin one to the comment once this video is over.
Yeah, even if you do the $25, you have to. It's just like playing the lottery.
Yeah, I mean,
you just got to have a chance.
Honestly, like a good example of people winning with spending the minimal amount of money was the year that Clarence and I went and picked up his car from the Corvette Museum. They told us that a person had just won the C8 that they were auctioning off. And they said, you'll never believe what happened. And we're like, okay, what happened? A guy, he wasn't even a Corvette guy. He was just driving through Kentucky, driving through Bowling Green, said, you know what? I've heard the Corvette Museum is cool. I'm going to stop and go in. He stopped and went in, bought a souvenir at the counter. They talked him into buying $20 worth of tickets. He bought $20 worth of tickets, and he was the winner of a brand new 2020 C8 Corvette. So that's how it happens sometimes. Sometimes people have to spend thousands, but sometimes you only spend $20 and you win.
That's what I do every time, $25.
There you go. Me too. My last video that I did, I haven't done too many videos, as you guys know, but my last video that I did was that E-Rays have finally hit production. Now, I don't have a production number. I don't know if it's been put out yet or not to see how many have actually been built since last Wednesday. They're actually supposed to start production last Monday, but because of weather and some other things, they didn't actually start till last Wednesday. So between Wednesday and now, a whole week, I don't know how many they've produced, but I wouldn't imagine a lot.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Someone mentioned to me, I don't know if you had heard this, that part of the issues they're having with the E-Rays is they're missing the cutoffs. I think it's like a 4-minute window, as a car goes by. And with the E-Ray, they're missing it, so it's just causing everything to get behind.
Oh, really?
I mean, if you miss one of those windows, you're done. Then the car just has to keep going. Right. So that's one thing I had heard that was causing problems, which it makes total sense.
Yeah, it almost needs to be on a separate line.
Right.
So I'm really hoping that this, changes things. If you haven't watched the video, go check it out. But I'm still waiting for my allocation. And tomorrow, we'll talk about this in a second, but tomorrow is allocation day. So I'm hoping that my dealership gets one at least. So we'll see what happens. Let's see. What do we have on here now? Keith French is on now. Caleb. There's Caleb. Darryl D17 or Darryl DC8. There's Lego D17. Sweet. Simple Cooking. So welcome everyone. Before we get into the main subject, I wanted to bring up a few more points. So let's go to the Mid-Engine Corvette forum. And let's talk about the ZR1. We haven't talked about it in a while, but something popped up on January 9th from GM. It was a patent, and it's pretty exciting. We've seen active aero patents in the past, and I think the last one we saw was in like 2018 or 2019, but it showed it on a C7 where it could have active aero all over the car. But this thing is a brand new patent, and it doesn't really have pictures of like where things are at necessarily. I mean, this kind of shows a little bit, but if you read about it, it's pretty exciting stuff. If you want to just read the article that's up above, it's pretty cool what they're saying. They're saying that this thing could have the same active aero as a Pagani Huayra, which means that it would have it under the front, like right next to the front tires, which is what the Porsche GT3 RS has too. But it would have it up front. It would have it on the hood. It would have it on the rear, behind the tires back there. It'd pretty much have it everywhere. Spoiler, maybe even side skirt area.
I wonder how much weight that adds, though.
I don't know. But it's exciting because it will make the ZR1 handle so much better. It'll work in conjunction with the active stability control and traction control. So it gives some really cool scenarios on here of like going into turns, getting loose, coming out of turns, getting loose, going into turns and being tight, coming out of turns being tight, pushing, and what that active aero would actually do to combat that, along with the active stability control and traction control. So pretty neat stuff. It kind of makes me think that maybe there's a chance that the ZR1 is going to be much more of a car than we initially thought it was going to be, you know? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, but we have a super high mileage C8 Corvette now. Let's go to this. 98,000 miles. It's a 3LT. Somebody's offering it on, what do they call it?
Coparts.
Coparts, yeah. Coparts for 53. It's funny what Keith actually says in this article. He says maybe a YouTuber would want to buy it just so that they could be the first
100,000. That's actually a good point, yeah.
And then like after 100,000. So very interesting. It's crazy that the 2020 is already that old of a car and that there's somebody out there with almost.
That's someone driving it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at people like Carlos probably has 50,000 on his.
He's got to be real close. He might be on here, but yeah, he's got to be real close. Might even be over that now.
And his is a 21?
No, I think it's 2020. Either 2020 or 2021.
Yeah.
But yeah, he daily drives it.
Yeah, he definitely daily drives it. So yeah, I thought you guys would want to see that. And then if you haven't seen the new GT3 cars.
Yeah, this is exciting.
Oh, man, these things are beautiful. Oops, I hit the wrong button. These are the GT3 Rs Z06s. And look at the livery that they've put on these cars. I think they look better than the C8 Rs.
Oh, way better.
I mean, these things are fantastic.
What is overlaid in that black silver? Is that the American flag?
Yes.
Ghosted in it?
Right here or right here?
Yeah. Yeah, no, right there. Yeah, you're right. Okay, yep.
Yeah, I think that's a checkered flag.
Right.
On the side and on the back, on that black part. We'll get a better look here.
That looks really good.
Oh, it looks so good. Yeah, and this side from the yellow looks amazing. Yeah, I think that's well, maybe not. I don't know, but it's beautiful. So I just wanted to show you guys that.
What does the front fender look like on that? Is it flared out when you look at it from the side?
Yeah. Let's look at the side. Yeah, it's flared out.
I mean, just wondering because that's the front that everyone's talking about they're going to do.
I know.
They're not hiding it.
And they need to flare the ZR1 fender out like
I sure hope so.
Yeah, they do. So anyway, beautiful, beautiful race cars. So I figured you guys would want to see that. And then back to allocations. If any of you guys have heard from your dealerships, we'd love to know. Today is usually the day that the dealership will actually hear, hey, you guys are probably going to get a couple of allocations or 10 or, whatever it is. So if you heard from your dealership that you're getting or that they're getting allocations tomorrow, let us know in the comments. And especially if your dealership says they're getting E-Ray allocations tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Because my dealership has not told me, and I actually contacted them last week just to ask them, hey, has Chevrolet or GM reached out to you guys and said, hey, heads up, you're getting allocations for E-Ray Z06 Stingray on the 18th. And they said, no, they have not heard anything. So I think they would have told me today if they had heard something. So I'm just taking that as they still haven't heard.
And there was no allocations in December, right?
Yeah, I think the 7th.
Was, okay.
Yeah, I think December 7th was the allocations. Lego wants to know if your Z06 is built yet.
No, and actually I just checked on that today. I'm still 3,000 status. It's been 5.5 weeks, so I was talking to Mike about that. I was trying to make a change on it, which technically I could, but it was going to reset the clock if I did. And what I was telling Mike, I went back and forth about doing the ceramic brakes, and if I could have done it today, I might have pulled the trigger and done it. And
they are amazing.
I technically can do it, but then it just resets the clock, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing about it.
Yeah.
You'd be waiting another month or so.
Hard to, at least, well, yeah.
And then something could happen.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I'm so close to almost being there. It's kind of like, why jinx it now? And then Mike and I talked about, I kind of had a plan to do the brakes anyways, a different way. So we'll see. General
Lee is on here. I was actually going to mention you, General, but keep him in your prayers. He says he's taking it easy. Thanks for the well wishes. Absolutely, man. We hope everything is going well for you. And I'm glad to see you on here tonight. I was wondering if you would be or not, but I'm really glad you are. So,
Doug Hooks mentioned he's still 3,000 for his E-Ray. I know of at least one other person, maybe two. One person confirmed for sure. Their build date got pushed back significantly from all the way out to March.
Yeah, and I was going to bring this up. A couple of comments on that latest E-Ray video that I didn't make me very happy. There were two people on there that said they had build dates in February, and now it looks like their build dates are the end of March or beginning of April. So they said, hey, we understand you want to E-Ray as quick as possible, but if you don't even have something in 3,000 status, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, it could be a long time before I get an E-Ray. I don't know. It's not up to me. It's out of my hands. I'm just going to have to be patient, and I've got plenty of stuff that I can do in the meantime. I do have, as soon as I'm back to 100%, I've got a lot of content coming your way. Plus, I've got some new type of content coming your way, and I'm really excited about the new type of content. The other stuff is fun to do, but the new stuff is going to just be a blast. So, I just got to get back to myself, and we'll get started on that. Now, real quick, before I forget, before we move on, because that's it for the stuff before the main subject. I think I told you guys on that video, but if you haven't watched it, my wife is being induced next Tuesday night. So she'll be having the baby probably Wednesday morning. So I will not be going live next Wednesday because I'll be a brand new father, just trying to hang in there and take care of my new baby, and want to be around him nonstop. So I'm not sure about the week after that. Hopefully everything will be kind of settled in and we'll have everything, under control, and I can do a live the week after. But
it'll normalize pretty quick.
Yeah.
There's not much to do the first 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So you'll be fine.
So thank you, Lance. I appreciate it. Thank you, Daryl, Jeff. So yeah, we're super excited. Because of her age and everything, I had a couple of people asking why she's being induced. Because of her age and some other health factors that had kind of weighed in on the thing, the doctor just thought it was best to go ahead and do it at 39 weeks. So she's only a week away from full term. And the baby's already big.
But you're saying she's going to get induced. I mean, this could still happen any day.
Oh, yeah.
You might get a phone call over here. So
yeah, no. I mean, that's the thing. Like, she already kind of feels like he's close to coming.
Right.
Now, she's never had a kid before, so she doesn't know all the signs the way that a seasoned mother would know. But she hears from my sister and her sister and, other people that have had plenty of kids. And she's like, I could have him before.
Sure.
But if she doesn't, then she'll have him on the 24th. So that's the plan so far. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for popping in tonight. If you have not smashed the thumbs up button, please do so. We would really appreciate it. And let's get on to the latest Corvette news. So there's an article on Corvette Blogger. And I thought I had it pulled up. Let me go back to it real quick. But it's all about this new crate motor that's coming out. It's already being put in trucks, which is kind of interesting because they already put the LT2. I mean, it's not an LT2. It's a 6.2 liter.
Right.
In trucks.
Yeah, trucks and Tahoes.
Tahoes and Suburbans. But now we've got this beast of a V8 6.6 liter that a lot of the Corvette community is hoping is going to be put into one of the C8 variants. I've got some questions about it because I really don't know a whole heck of a lot about engines. I mean, I know about engines, but I just don't know, like, why would you want a 6.6 over a 6.2? Why, I mean...
Weren't they talking about a flatter torque curve?
Yeah, but I mean, the 6.2 has a pretty flat torque curve. But I mean, it does produce quite a bit more torque. That is one good thing. It's producing like 543 torque as opposed to 470.
Yeah, that's pretty significant.
That's pretty big, but it's only like 28 horsepower more.
Right.
The torque is what matters, though. So there's the numbers: 5,800 RPM, 523 horsepower, 543 foot-pounds of torque at 4,600 RPM. And so they're hoping that this thing will pop in, one of the variants of the C8. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, Daryl D. C8 says, isn't that engine heavy? And the answer is yes.
Yes, they say that.
And that's where they have to come up with the aluminum heads on it.
Yeah, they actually talk about it being heavy, and that's why there's no way it's going to be in a Corvette yet. But the way that the article reads, it seems like Mary Barra has talked about maybe something could happen in that way. That's just the way he worded it, the way Corvette Blogger worded it. So again, it's not.
Well, what was the news several months back? They were talking about GM was putting $800 million into the next generation V8, but they left it was vague. It didn't really.
Yes. We did a live on that.
That was 6 months ago.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what that was.
Well, I think there wasn't really much to it, and people were just saying, "Well, look, V8s are not going away."
Yeah, and it was also speculated to be an LT engine, whereas this is a L8 whatever. What you got?
You need to switch off your screen. You're on there.
Oh, my bad. Sorry about that. So yeah.
But would it be in the Stingray? Would it be in the Grand Sport? Would it be?
I don't know. Would it be something that they could twin turbo easier? I mean, I've got a bunch of questions. What would the benefit for GM be to use this engine in a Corvette? Somebody said there's no replacement for displacement.
That's a good rhyme.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that, but nowadays, look at the power they're getting out of 4-liter V8s. Look at the power Formula One is getting out of a 4-cylinder. They're getting 1,100 horsepower out of a twin-turbo 4-cylinder. So nowadays with technology, do you really need the extra displacement? I don't know. How would this engine differ from the 6.2 LT2 other than just being a larger displacement? Maybe it's the torque. Maybe it's you can... they did say the internals were stronger, so it would maybe take boost easier. The stress of having forced induction. So that was another question. Would it be able to handle forced induction better than an LT2 or an LT6? Possibly.
Yeah, that 6.2 is pretty tried and true motor, so I don't know for them to go away from that.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, it's just like when they had the 5.7. You know, it was tried and true for years and years and years. I'm not sure why they upped it to a 6.2.
well, they had the 6-liter in between for a while. Not in the Corvettes, but the trucks had them.
Oh, okay.
And that motor, like the 6.2, was used in all the marine applications, the boats, and no issues.
Yeah. So how likely do you guys think it is that we will see this engine in a future Corvette? I don't know. Again, it's kind of one of those articles that you read and you're just like, well, it's kind of hard to get super excited about because you don't even know why they would need it when they have so much potential with the 6.2 and the 5.5 now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they can always bring back the LT5 as well if they wanted to. The LT5 has great potential for boost. So anyway, what are your guys' thoughts? It may be cheaper choice rather than a diesel. Well, but that's for trucks.
Yeah, we're not getting a diesel
So,
Corvette.
John, I'm going to address what you said. A car guy questioning a bigger engine. Yes, because like I said, Formula One is the highest grade of racing there is. Why did Formula One go away from V12s that put out 900 horsepower and go to a twin turbo 4-cylinder that puts out 1100 horsepower? Well, I do know one of the reasons, and it's probably because of emissions and nonsense like that. But there's obviously something to it that they're able to produce that kind of horsepower out of a tiny little 4-cylinder as opposed to this gigantic. It's just like back in the day. Look at how huge engines used to be.
Yeah.
They used to be these, you know,
The
as long as
454
this
block,
table,
big block.
But I'm talking about like back in the 30s and stuff. They had engines that
right.
were as long as this table that produced like 60 horsepower.
Right.
You know? And they were V12s.
Right.
And now you've got little tiny 4-cylinders in crotch rocket motorcycles that produce 300 horsepower. You know? You got the H2R from Kawasaki that is 330 horsepower stock. So that's why. That's why I question it. I've always been the type of guy that, yeah, it's cool to get in a car with a really big engine, but if you don't need that gigantic engine to produce the kind of power that you want to produce, why have it? You know? I mean, a good kind of come back to that is most people wouldn't put twin turbos and superchargers on their cars if that was the case. They would just say, just give me a bigger engine and I'll have more horsepower.
Right.
You know? But that's not what everybody's doing. Everybody's putting big old superchargers on pretty decent sized V8s and twin turbos on smaller V8s like McLaren and Ferrari. So yeah, I think that was my last. Oh no, I have one more question. Would this be a great engine? Because they're gonna pretty soon it's gonna go on sale as a crate motor or a crate engine. Would it be a good engine to buy for a kit car or even a resto mod build? Because I know there's a lot of people that buy like the LS class engines for those. Would this maybe be better than an LS2 or an LS3?
It'd be interesting to see what the weight difference is without the aluminum heads, how much weight we're talking. But that's different, definitely a factor to consider.
Right. So he said, you're in the USA, right? Yep. And the USA is starting to build smaller V8s with more horsepower. Look at Chevy's naturally aspirated, highest horsepower engine ever. It's a 5.5 liter flat plane crank V8. And it's the highest horsepower naturally aspirated V8 ever built. Mm-hmm. So they've dropped it a few displacements and still got way more horsepower. So yeah, I mean, that's just technology nowadays. He says, Shiny Fender says iron block with boost. Yeah, that's what they were saying in the article. They were talking about it having way more capabilities to put a lot more boost in it. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Elijah Ray's on.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while.
He's
He's a very busy guy right now.
James Graham is on. Stephen R. That's a new one. Vet and I. Yep. He says, wouldn't you have to reverse the intake unless you use the one from the LT2? I don't know. Wouldn't they just turn the engine the same way the LT2 is faced? And the intake would face towards the rear, right? I'm sure they would modify whatever they needed to modify to put it in the Corvette, just like you've got the 6.2 liter in the Vet now and the 6.2 liter in a front engine truck. So
Steven wants
Mark's
to know.
on.
Oh, is he?
Mark. Hey, everyone from the sick ward. Feel better, man. It's a thing going around. I know that. It's just it's a stupid cold that causes pretty decent cough, runny nose, sore throat. So
Steven wants to know if you would switch from your E-Ray allocation and jump on a Z06, considering the time it's probably going to be.
No, man, that ship has sailed, unfortunately. I mean, back in, I believe it was June of last year, I had a really awesome offer. It might have been July. But I had an awesome offer from a GM at a dealership to take a Z06 allocation. And it would have been a 20...
Probably last 23.
Yeah, it might have been a last 23. Could have been an early 24, but either way, I could have had a Z06 by now. It's just not, it doesn't make sense for my channel to have a Z06 anymore. It makes sense for me to have fun with a Z06.
Which you'll be able to do. You'll be able to thrash on mine.
But it doesn't make sense for me to bring that to the channel. It's a very expensive car to probably not really make much money off of. And this is my business. So I have to think of it as a business. And the E-Ray is something that's brand new. When you look at the comments on my video, and then, by the way, Corvette Blogger posted my video up as well. I don't know if you saw that or not. He posted it up. His post actually has almost double the views that my video has. His post has a crap load of views. So it did really well. But if you look at the comments on that, people misunderstand this car. They think it's an EV, fully EV.
And it's plug-in. Yep.
Yeah, and they think it's a plug-in hybrid. And they're calling it like, oh, I don't know why you want a Prius. And it's like, dude, guys, come on. You got to do some research. But that's okay. I'm not mad at anybody because this is actually going to help me when I make videos, because I'm going to be able to show you guys how cool this car is. Now, you guys know how honest I am, and so if there's things about it that I don't like, I'm going to tell you. I don't like this. GM messed up on that. But I'm sure there's going to be mostly good, and it's going to probably blow my mind, and while it's blowing my mind, it's going to blow your guys' minds, and it's going to change a lot of minds. Just like the C8 did. I had people in my life that said, I will never, ever get rid of my C7 for a C8. Well, guess what? Those people changed their minds, and they have C8s now. So I think the same will be true with the E-Ray. I believe that once it hits the streets, and if Chevy does it right, and they really make it so that, you know, at least 7,000 to 8,000 get built in the year 2024. So there's a lot on the streets. I think it's going to change a lot of people's minds. And I'm going to do some really cool content with it. I've already got a lot of stuff ready to go. It just needs to be here. So, yeah, I think the Z06 would be a mistake. The E-Ray is a win for my channel. Supercar Ranch, I noticed he said something a while ago about that new engine, and I wanted to comment back to him. I think it was right up here. Let me get back to it real quick. You can say, whatever you want to say in the meantime.
I was just thinking of something because we kind of got busy tonight with dinner and everything, and Mark's not here. We don't have a question for tonight.
Oh.
So, Mark, if you're still on, you need to text me or Mike the question, please. Please, please.
Please, please.
But while you're doing that, let's show everyone the giveaway wheel.
Yeah. Go for it.
Check that out.
Yeah, so Darren put together this awesome giveaway wheel. We used it last week, but
we got a lot more prizes on there this week.
Now there's a lot of prizes. So maybe you should just go over them with everybody.
Well, I have to look at it. I don't remember what I put on there. We got lots of good stuff, though.
And you can zoom that camera in if you
Well, you know what? We'll go back to it. I'm going to turn around because I got to look at it.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, just read off what there is.
We've got a Boss key tag. We've got $250 off a set of Forge Light wheels plus free shipping. We've got a BOS signed poster. We've got an LED headlamp. We've got $50 cash. We've got a key tag plus a bonus spin.
$50 cash.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I added a bonus spin. So key
right.
tag plus bonus spin, BOS shirt, Paragon wheel hangers. What else I got on here? A C8 silhouette sign, the big silhouette.
Oh, nice.
I've got an extra one of those.
Nice.
And then a really cool, I haven't even showed you, a C8, I don't know what scale it is, almost the size of your car, a little bit smaller. C8R, the race one, the model, got that.
So, yeah, lots of cool stuff.
Lots of cool stuff, yeah. So it'll be interesting when we get ready for that to see how that's going to play out.
Yeah, so Mr. Nichols, I was going to tell everyone that he actually donated his headlamp back to the live. So he sent me an email initially saying, yeah, send it here. But then he sent another email and he was like, nah, just donate it back. That way somebody else can have it. So we're going to do that. Actually, we have one sitting right there. So Mark sent us a question.
That's an interesting one.
Oh, okay, that's a good one. So, Supercar Ranch said that he was hoping that from the GT3 Rs, that the front bumper and the hood make it to the ZR1. I think the hood already has.
Yeah, because we saw it in the mules.
Yeah. So that was the question. I thought he said something about the engine, but it was actually about that. So I just wanted to get back to him on that because... Okay, no comments on the engine. He said, I agree with your assessment. Yeah. So, should we go ahead and do a question?
Yeah, so we need to... Are you and I on the same page? Did Mark text you the second part to that?
Yeah.
Right, because the key is any. This isn't just this is, get what I'm saying? Any.
Yeah.
All right, so listen to the question clearly, because we'll probably need to clarify, so go ahead.
So, what is the fastest quarter-mile time for any C8 Corvette? Go.
Mark, you're going to have to...
I love it. Gavin Z06. What's up?
Moderate here as we get people. Remember, it's any C8.
Any C8.
So it could be modified, could be...
Yep, could be stock or modified. But modified, obviously.
Modified, obviously. Yeah. It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's an interesting...
we've already got a winner.
That was an interesting one that Mark came up with that, though. That's usually not his
is,
wheelhouse. He's usually not a go-fast question kind of guy.
Okay. So, guys, I put in there, so go ahead and let's see if he's right about that. Yes. So, Jar Griffin has 8.64 as his answer, and he is correct.
Okay.
It's Junior Griffin. Griffith. I said Jar. Junior Griffith. Sorry, sometimes it's hard to read the names down there.
All right, we're going to do our question then, or our spin?
Yep, let's do the spin.
All right, so
let's see what you win.
What you get. Let's make this happen. I can't even tell.
What does it say?
He got the silhouette sign. Let me show you what he won.
Nice.
Switch back to it.
Congratulations.
This is pretty cool. I didn't even show this to you.
You did not. I'm excited, though. Oh, yeah, that's amazing.
So you can, yeah.
That'll look good on your either garage wall or, wherever you want to put it. It'll look good on a wall.
Well, congrats. That was fun.
Yeah, that was awesome. He said, thanks, guys. So do me a favor and shoot me over an email. BOS 2020.
So the cool thing with our wheel as we get going more and more with this is we'll have different prizes on there from time to time. We'll switch them out. Maybe get some pretty cool big ones in there. We still might do that one for Mark where it's mandatory mileage plus a bonus spin. We'll sneak that in one of these days.
Yeah, we should. So yeah, just shoot me an email with your information so I can ship that to you, and I'll ship it out. Doug Hood says, "Do it, Vanna."
Yeah.
No, Amelia's twin turbo Z06 is not it. I think she got 8.9.
So whose was it? I don't even know whose it was.
It was a red one.
Was it one in Florida when they did that?
Or it might have been, it might have been late model.
Oh, LMR guys?
Yeah, LMR. I think it was LMR.
That would make sense.
Yeah. I'll do it when it warms up. By the way, going back to neighbor Mark, I just thought of something today. We asked the question last week how many miles were on his car. Mm-hmm. Do you know how long he's owned that car?
A year.
Mark, you've had that car for almost a year now. And it has 1,500 miles on it. What is the deal?
Drive it.
Drive it. Come on, man. Drive it.
Someone said it was the Jotech. Oh, wait. Was it LMR? Someone said Jotech, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Chris says he hopes to see the new 6.6 liter motor in the new Stingray and E-Rays. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of it, I guess, could depend how long this C8 cycle goes for, right? I mean, they're not going to put a new motor in just for another year or two.
Right.
But if they're
yeah, I mean, who was it that was saying they thought the cycle was going to 2030?
Oh, a lot of people have said that.
I know, but somebody just recently told us.
So
Jesse?
Yeah, I don't remember. There's a lot of people talking about the refresh of the interior coming up in 2025, and it's actually going to be, I think, from what I heard from a source, not just removal of the
big middle wall.
No, it's going to go to like the Cadillac style, bigger screen. Mm-hmm. So it will be different.
That's fine.
And that makes sense.
It does.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things that definitely need to change.
But could it? I mean, a C9. Do you see them changing like the base platform, meaning the frame, right? I mean, or is it just going to be?
Yes.
You think so?
I believe that because with every generation they look different.
But could they just do a body change?
Well, yeah. I'm sorry, not frame, but yeah.
No, obviously the body will be different. That's what I'm saying. But it would be basically the same platform, meaning, I mean, it's mid-engine.
Yeah. And like I said,
because how much better can you make it?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said in my last video, that was one thing I wanted to discuss tonight. I think that GM would be smart to follow in the footsteps of someone like McLaren, where he said in 2025, 100% of their cars will be hybrids. So why wouldn't GM do that with their C9? Why wouldn't they decide to go ahead and make almost all of them hybrids? Now, that doesn't mean they all have to be all-wheel drive, because there's McLarens that are hybrids that aren't all-wheel drive. There's other cars that are hybrids that are not all-wheel drive. So I still think they can make rear-wheel drive just fine. And it would, I think it would change the game for GM if they went to mostly hybrids, hopefully no EVs at all with the C9. Hopefully that doesn't come till C10 or never. And then still made some that weren't hybrids. You know? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like I said, it'll be depending a little bit on the E-Ray when it comes out. What happens with that?
And I could change my mind after owning an E-Ray, but I don't think I will because I've driven the NSX plenty of times, and I will tell you it's one of the funnest cars I've ever driven. And it only has 576 horsepower. But it feels like it has 100 more than that.
Yeah.
Because of just how
it's like a slingshot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a slingshot.
And the Porsche turbos are like that too.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but it's interesting. The brand new 2022 Porsche Turbo S that I drove with Trevor, that has 640 horsepower, all-wheel drive. I'm not even kidding. The NSX feels just as fast because of that hybrid. Because the electric just rips you forward as fast.
Right, no delays.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's no delay. It's an incredible car, and that thing was a 2017 that I was driving. So it's not like I drove a new NSX. It was a 3-4 year old NSX when I drove it.
Yeah.
So
another thought that came to mind. I don't know if you saw, getting away from the Corvette conversation, but the Toyota Supras. You see how those sales are so far down?
No, I haven't even seen.
Like down by 50%.
Really?
I swear I read they only made 2,600 of those last year.
That's interesting.
I know.
I mean, the only thing that I can say to that is maybe it's because they're too high priced for what you get. They might be 10 to 15,000 more than they're
right.
really worth.
I just thought they were selling more of those than that.
I did too because I see them often.
Around here, you seem to, yeah.
Yeah, you see them.
But you see them at the shows though, or events.
Yeah,
I don't see a lot of them just driving around.
I do.
You do?
Yeah, I probably see one every week.
Yeah,
one or two every week when I'm out and about.
Supercar Ranch, you're pretty in the know. Am I right when I said that? That I think it was like 2,600 Supras were made last year.
I still want to drive one. I still have never driven the new Supra. I want to drive the highest end, fastest one of them and just see what I think about it. And I also want to drive the 400Z.
Mm-hmm.
See what I think about that.
I've seen one of those around, which I know
think
those
I've only seen one of those.
Yeah.
Elijah Ray says the BR86 and Z is a better car. I'll tell you what though, the new Supra with all of the like high like duckbill type. Oh, they look amazing.
Really? Oh yeah, the fenders, flares.
Yeah, they look amazing. I do like the way they look.
They're just such a small car.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the old one was small too.
Yeah, I always think of the '90s one though, where it was bigger. That's the Supra I like.
I think well, me too. I mean,
it's still smaller. But
I had a buddy that owned the last year. 97, I think it was the last year. And that car was a rocket back then.
Oh, back then, yeah. And those guys were, Jotech was souping those cars out back in the day too.
He had his souped up, and he got rid of the sequential turbos and put one big turbo. And then he had the big fat pipe. And at night, it would fire out.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gavin, you're right. The Z06 sounds way better than the E-Ray. I would love for the E-Ray to sound like the Z06. However, it's not always just about that. You put a nice exhaust on the Stingray and E-Ray, and it does sound amazing. I mean, Darren and I both had the AWE touring exhaust, and to me, you can't really make the car sound better than that. I love the way that sounds.
Well, now people are putting cams in these things, which
I don't.
It just doesn't fit the.
I don't
yeah.
like and neither does my wife. She hates that. Won't. Oh, I think we got a Venmo inbound. Yep. Let's see. Doug Doug, you are amazing. Mike Baby Fund. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Love ya. So yeah, I would love to drive the Supra. I would love to drive the Z. The BR's Z06 would be fun too. It's not that fast though. I think it's only got like 200 horsepower. It's a turbo. So it'd probably feel a lot like a Mini Cooper, which is fine.
Are they going to bring the S2000 back?
Is there a rumor?
No, I'm just making one up.
Oh, I would love
I know
that.
you love those things.
I mean, dude, the first time I drove one of those cars, number one, it was already supercharged.
Yeah.
So it had a Paxton supercharger on it. And without that supercharger, that car already sounds amazing at, 9,000 RPM.
It was a well-built car, too.
Yeah.
It shifted, yeah.
It had a short throw shifter. And I could kill people with that car. I mean, I was demolishing everything with that car, especially with the Paxton supercharger. But the cool thing about that Paxton supercharger is it enhanced those high RPM sounds, and it literally sounded like you had bees riding along with you, just buzzing like crazy. It was a cool car. It probably wasn't fast compared to now. It probably had, let's see, that car stock was 240 horse,
right.
I believe. So it probably added another 40 or 50.
How much did those things weigh?
Oh,
can't be that much.
2,300 pounds,
right.
maybe.
Right.
Yeah, they were super light, very agile. A lot of people bought them and autocrossed them. And that was back in the day when I was doing a lot of autocrossing. I saw them all the time out there.
Yep.
But to me, the funnest part about them was just listening to the engine from 5,000 to 9,000. It was awesome. So yeah, that would be amazing if they would bring the S2000 back and put a high revving VTEC in it that produced like another 100 or 200 horsepower and still rev to 9,000. That would be sweet. That would be absolutely amazing. Let's see. I raced an S2000 to a tie once. Oh yeah? In what, Robert? Was it your vet that you raced it with? Because, I mean, that could happen. Yeah, that could happen. That vet is probably 1,000 plus pounds heavier than the S2000. And it only has, I think his vet has 300?
Well, probably more than that. 350?
No, they went to 330 and 95, I believe. 94 or 95. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they're 300. So I think he's got 300 horsepower in 92. No, it's not a drag racer, but it's still fun to, rip, because I think it only had 150 foot-pounds of torque, maybe 140. That's what those high revving engines do. They give you a decent horsepower but low torque. So Stephen Rapp, did he send something? He just said as a baby gift. What did he say before that? Mike, you should pick out something real nice and your subscribers can contribute to it. $100 for me towards. So my wife, let me tell you a little story real quick. My wife has a baby registry, but she's been working at Del Frisco's for like 11 years, and she has a regular that is absolutely amazing. He takes amazing care of her. So he surprised her, and he said, I went ahead and bought the rest of the registry. So it's all done. The registry is bought and paid for. So she got everything she wanted. But if you'd like to, donate, there's always Venmo. I'll flash that up for you guys because Some of you may not know what the Venmo is. So let me pull this up real quick and get it on the right picture. There we go. I did it again. That's a good picture, though. That's Average F's car. There is my Venmo. So if you want to donate to a baby fund, that's fine. I would greatly appreciate that. And trust me, it will go to use. Some people bought, here's another story. Some people bought a bunch of diapers that were newborn diapers, and everybody told Amber, she's like, trust me, or they're all saying, trust me, you're only going to use a few of those newborn diapers, so you should take those back and get stuff you need. So we took 4 things of diapers back yesterday. Guess how much money that was?
I don't even know.
$98 for 4 boxes of diapers. It blew my mind. I was thinking those box of diapers would be like $8 to $10 a piece. Apparently, they were $20 a piece. Actually, 25 and some change a piece. So, yeah. Anyway, if you want to do that, super chats, super stickers work too. But yeah, I really appreciate all of you. We're coming to an end, so I'm going to wrap things up. Again, if you're just now joining us, next week I will not be going live, so please put that on your calendar. That Octane Hour will not be, there will not be an Octane Hour next week. Also, if you're new and just now joining us, please smash the thumbs up button. And every single week we go live, except for next Wednesday, at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's called Octane Hour. If you have not subscribed, please do so, because that will help you get notified when we're going live. So, again, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming and being on here tonight. Thank you for the Venmo, Doug. And I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you on the next Octane Hour.